I told, did you tell him to be on at 9?
Yes.
Yeah, because I told him he'd be on at 9. We're trying to get him on the phone.
Appreciate it.
I mean, do we have anybody on? Any attorneys online? All right, we're gonna put you at the end again and see what happens, okay? We're trying to call him as well.
Thank you.
All right. All right, your name, sir?
Jonathan Rivera.
All right, 22 CF 14375 AO.
Good morning, Sarah DePoma on behalf of Mr. Rivera.
All right. One kind of sexual battery. Did you guys work anything out?
No.
No? Okay. Did you talk?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Review the affidavit, the arrest warrant. According to this, is bond set at no bond with conditions, no contact with the victim. Any input from the state?
I believe he's entitled to bond, Your Honor, but if I could confirm that for just one moment. Yes, Your Honor, it appears that he is entitled to a bond. I'll leave it at the court's discretion.
All right. Any input from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor, we are asking you to set a $2,500 bond in Mr. Rivera's case. He is an Orlando resident. He's lived in Florida for about 7 years. He's employed full-time. He works a significant amount of his time. His mother is present. She also lives in Orlando. He has siblings in Orlando. He does not have a criminal history, no failures to appear that I'm aware of. And so we are asking you to set him at the $2,500, which is the bottom of the schedule.
All right. I'll set his bond at $20,000 with conditions, no contact with the alleged victim. Thank you. Oh, wait. Did I give you? Is this attached to him? No, I'm sorry. I must have accidentally put. Attached to that? Your name, sir?
Victor Carrion.
You're here in case number 22 CF 12941 AO. I'm looking for your case right now. Actually, I have half of your paperwork. No, that's the other guy, Calante.
No.
22 CF 12941 AO. It wasn't accidentally attached to that last case?
No, I don't.
All right. So one kind of burglary of a dwelling with assault and battery, domestic, one kind of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, one kind of obstructing justice, one kind of violation of domestic injunction, one kind of battery, domestic violence, and one kind of criminal mischief. I did read this one earlier. Found PC. Sir, according to your financial affidavit, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. The public defender is for individuals who are indigent that cannot afford a lawyer. Your first charge here, the burglary of a dwelling with assault and battery, you're not entitled to a bond, which means you're not necessarily entitled to get out of jail on this case. I can use my discretion and give you a bond. I'm not going to say if I am or if I'm not going to, but there's a possibility that you may end up in here without a bond, all right? Did you want to go forward today without a lawyer, or did you want to want me to roll this 24 hours for you to hire a lawyer. You can come back tomorrow at 11 a.m. With the lawyer, and you can see if you can get a bond on this. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
What do you want to do?
Hire the lawyer.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll you to tomorrow. It's gonna be around 11 a.m., so call your lawyer and tell him 11 a.m. to be here, okay? All right, we'll see you then. Your name, sir?
I'm Yo Delu.
All right, 22 mm, 8400 AO, battery domestic, and 21 CF 4973 AO, a violation of probation. The VOP is set at no bond. I'll appoint the public defender, review the affidavit, found probable cause on the battery. State any input?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set your bond at $750, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. $750. Your name, sir? All right, 22 CF 5608 AO, attempted aggravated stalking after a court prohibition and 3 counts of violation of pretrial release conditions on a domestic violence case via arrest warrant. According to this, probable cause order. According to this, your bond is set at no bond as to each count. Any input from the state with regards to release?
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, set your bond at $5,000 on count 1, $150 on each additional count, with conditions: no contact with the alleged victim, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay?
Say attorney's number.
Question on the last one that you did. Did you give him a
No. Your name, sir?
Isaiah Malavet.
All right, 22 CF 14508 AO, 1 count of aggravated battery on a pregnant person, domestic, 1 count of battery. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
One-time return with law enforcement, Your Honor.
All right, set your bond at $1,500 on count 1, 100 on count 2. No contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Your name? Sir, your name?
Jesse Soren.
All right, you were here in 22 CF 14530 AO, aggravated battery on a pregnant person. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set your bond at $1,500. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene. Maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Your name, sir?
Brad Wilcox.
All right, you're out on, you're in diversion on a grand theft of a motor vehicle, 21 CF 11653 AO. You're here today in 22 CF 14503 AO, aggravated assault with a firearm, battery, dating violence, grand theft, 3rd degree of a firearm. I reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
And then state, if you could let me know what the status is. Oh, he's in diversion on the other case, okay. On count 1, I'll set your bond at $5,000, count 2, $100, count 3, $150. No contact, no return, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. And I'll take no action on the case that you're in diversion on. Your name, sir? I'm sorry, one more time?
Robert D. Rose.
All right, sir, 22 mm, 8423 AO, 1 count of battery, dating violence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
One-time return with law enforcement, you want pretrial?
You want the bond or
A
the
bond,
PPR?
Your Honor.
All right, $500, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Your name, sir? All right, 22 mm, 310 AE. You're here on 1 count of battery, domestic. Reviewed the affidavit. Found probable cause, so he doesn't qualify. huh? Sir, according to your financial affidavit, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. The public defender is for individuals that are indigent, that cannot afford a lawyer. So the purpose of the hearing today at this point is to set conditions of your release so that you can get out of jail. You can go forward today without a lawyer, and we can set those conditions, or I can roll this to tomorrow, give you 24 hours to hire a lawyer. You can come back tomorrow, and we can set conditions of your release. But understand, between today and tomorrow, you'll stay in jail.
I'll do that myself then.
All right. Any input from the state?
Sorry?
No, Your Honor.
So I'm recommending a $500 bond with conditions: no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence, and do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Is that acceptable to you, or is there anything that you want to tell me?
That's acceptable.
All right, thank you. Anyone ever answer that attorney's phone number in Miami? I bet you he didn't. Yeah, I bet you he didn't have it right. Yeah, probably wasn't right. All right, your name?
Deion Johnson.
All right, sir, 22MM528AA, you're here on one kind of battery domestic. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. Ma'am, your name?
Keandria Curry.
All right, ma'am, is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think the court should consider in determining conditions of his release?
Yes, everything was just a misunderstanding.
You guys live together?
Yes.
State, do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Any input, State?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
I would just ask for a no hostile contact given the victim's testimony, Your Honor.
You want him to come home?
Yes.
Are you in fear for your safety?
No, sir.
I'll set your bond at $500, no hostile contact. No hostile contact means no physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, ma'am. Your name, sir?
My name Montgomery.
All right, sir, 22MM8418AO, one kind of battery domestic violence. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes.
Pretrial, I would ask for pretrial release, Your Honor, and a one-time return.
All right, we'll give you a pretrial release, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings.
I just can't.
Yeah, you can go back to get your belongings with law enforcement that way.
Thank you.
All right, sir, your name?
Robert Pruitt.
All right, 22MM8425AO, one kind of battery domestic and one kind of assault domestic. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Can I have a one-time return with law enforcement?
All right, I'll set your bond at 500 on count one, 100 on count two. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Your name, sir?
Jonathan Rios.
All right, 22MM8413AO, you're here on one kind of battery domestic and one kind of battery. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
It's a one-time return, Your Honor.
All right. Set your bond to 500 on count one, 100 on count two. No contact, no return, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Does look like you have a hold out of Seminole County, so even if you post this bond, you may not get out until we resolve the Seminole County issue, okay? Your name, sir?
Mike Rivera Feliciano.
22MM8415AO, one kind of battery domestic violence. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
Could I have a one-time return with law enforcement?
Does you want
and a
PTR or
monetary
bond?
Bond, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set your bond to $500, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Your name, sir?
Keith Stubbs.
All right, so you're here in 22MM8406AO, one kind of battery domestic violence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Mr. Smith, what case are you here for?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm James Smith. I'm covering on behalf of Attorney Chavelis Allers. Give me one moment here, sir. Sorry. It is Ivan Chacon.
What kind of case is it?
This is felony case.
It says y'all don't
I have the case number, sir. It is 22 CF 012901.
All right, hang tight. We've got a couple more cases, and then we'll figure out what to do with your case, okay?
make sure.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, on Stubbs, any input? Haven't found probable cause from the
No, Your
state
Honor.
defense?
Your Honor, could we just do a maintain separate residence? They do not reside together as opposed to one, no return.
Does he want a PTR or bond?
Bond, Your Honor.
$500, no contact, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Your name? Your name, sir?
Ryan Shepard.
2017-17 MMA out of County warrant on a failure to appear on a violation of probation out of Seminole County. According to this warrant, your bond is set at no bond. Seminole County has 24 hours to pick you up starting now, not counting the weekend. Do you have any questions? All right, thank you. Your name, sir?
Trenard, 48.
All right, 22 CF 6921 AO, violation of probation. One count of battery on a law enforcement officer, firefighter, EMT, et cetera, out of Orange County. According to this warrant, your bond is set at no bond. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your name, sir? What is it?
Regis?
All right, sir, you have two cases, 2020 CF 4708 AO, violation of probation. According to that, it's one count of robbery with a gun or a deadly weapon out of Orange County, and 2022 CF 14527 AO, possession of a firearm or ammo by a convicted felon carrying a concealed firearm. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. I'll stay your bonds on the new case. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. And then on your VOP, I'll appoint the public defender on that case as well, and your bond on that is set at no bond. Your name, sir?
David Slaw.
16 CF 14422 AO, violation of probation on robbery without a gun or a deadly weapon. Aggravated assault with a weapon. According to this, your bond is set at no bond. I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Did you read this? Blackman wrote that.
Jason Thompson is in the hospital, Your Honor.
All right, 22 CF 8155 BO, temporarily appoint waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right, no bond VOP, grand theft. Your name, sir? All right, 22 MM 8421 AO, one kind of battery, domestic violence, reviewed the affidavit. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
He's the Creole.
Oh, is there Creole?
Yes.
Oh, you good with English?
It's not a problem.
Okay. You want a lawyer or you want to represent yourself?
No, I'm just by myself.
Okay. All right. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm inclined to set your bond at $500 with conditions: no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence, and do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Is that acceptable to you?
Sorry?
Are you agreeable to that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I apologize. He didn't qualify, or he just wanted to represent himself?
Just wanted to represent himself.
Thank you.
All right. Did we get in touch with his lawyer?
No, we have 30 days. We're gonna try one more time.
All right, hang tight. We're gonna try calling again. You sure the number's right? Because it just rang and rang and rang and nobody ever answered.
It should be 305-468.
too, but give me a moment because I'm just printing it now.
Oh, okay.
It's a work in progress. Yeah, I like the gray too, but yeah. I prefer it smooth. That's not what I'm getting.
So am I hitting teleconference? On this one? All right, good morning. Oh, no, we're still calling him. Where'd he go? All right, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court, Louis Reynoso on behalf of Mr. Martin Collante.
All right, he's here in 2022 CF 13922AO, one kind of vehicular homicide, failure to render aid or give information, one kind of leaving the scene of a crash with death, and one kind of tampering with physical evidence. We had him here the other day. We rolled him to today for you. This is a probable cause order with no bond on count 1, no bond on count 2, $150 on count 3, with conditions: no contact directly with the victim, co-defendant, or witnesses, do not possess any weapons or firearms, and do not drive without a valid license. State, do you have any input with regards to release on counts 1 and 2?
Your Honor, he is actually entitled to a bond. They are first and second degree felonies. But due to the nature of this particular offense, I would at least ask for $100,000 on count 1 and $75,000 on count 2, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I have been in contact with the trial prosecutor, ASA McNault, David McNault, and we discussed a bond on this matter. And in fact, I forwarded an agreed order. We have come to an agreement with regard to the bond status. The amounts that we agreed are, as to count 2, the vehicular homicide was $20,000, and the hit and run failure to stop and remain was $15,000. The defendant shall also surrender his passport. I believe that corrections may be in possession of that with his personal effects. And with the condition that was just mentioned, that the defendant shall.
You are the only participant.
I'm sorry, keep going.
That the defendant shall have no contact with witnesses. I just received a text early this morning from ASA David McNault acknowledging that was agreeable. I'm not sure whether the in-court prosecutor wishes to confirm same, but that is the agreement between the state and defense.
All right, give us a moment.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
No, he said he sent in an agreed upon order. Do we have anything filed? Nothing.
Your Honor, I apologize. I did not get that information. If I could send an email and then just wait for a response just to confirm that.
Sure.
In the meantime, I guess we can do the 33-day motions, but I just need a moment to send the email, please.
It's no problem, Your Honor. I don't mind. What is the best way for me to reconnect, or should I just stay on hold?
Just stay on.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right, are we ready on the 33?
Just a moment, Your Honor. The email has been sent. Yes, we can do the 33-day motions.
Ivan Hernandez, 20.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yeah, Mr. Smith, we're almost ready. Your client's actually
Sure.
set for 1 o'clock.
Oh,
We're just trying to figure out if we can get him over here for you. That's all. So,
and I apologize. The only reason I said my name out like that, I've been cut off, so
Okay.
my apologies.
all right. Hernandez, 12901AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Thomas, 22 CF 12594 AO. Bryant Ricardo Thomas.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Gary Lee Simmons, 22 CF 13294 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Jose Betancourt, 22 CF 13217 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
James Rivera, 22 CF 13221 AO.
I'm sorry, give me the case number again.
22 CF 13221 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Jacqueline Devin Ingram, 22 CF 13285 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Lam Wen, 22 CF 13304 AO.
Denied, information was filed.
Robichaud, 22 CF 13224 AO.
Denied, information was filed.
Nicholas Vallecchio, 22 CF 12889 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Bryant Gordon, 22 CF 11351 AO.
Granted, case was no billed.
Brian Gordon, 22 CF 13291 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Marcel Black, 22 CF 12184 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Jermaine Hester, 22 CF 13337 AO.
Granted, case was no billed.
Kavari Cummings, 22 CF 11827 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Sandra Fleckus, 22 CF 13216 AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Any response on that email yet?
No, Your Honor. What?
Mr. Smith, what's the defendant's name for your case?
Yes, Your Honor, the defendant in the case is Ivan Chacon.
Let's see if we can get.
That was the first, no. That was the first one that we called for, the 33-day motion. It was granted.
Oh. All right.
All right.
Great work today, counsel.
Thank you. Thank you. This is, I needed that compliment. Thank you.
All right. Wonderful job. A+.
All right, sir.
Have a good
All
weekend.
right. Take care. Bye-bye.
I don't know. Chacon's the middle name. That's what I have. I don't know. Maybe it's that name. This one. Yeah, we're waiting for the email back from the prosecutor. In no hurry. Come back at 1.
Your Honor, I believe counsel said that there was.
You are the only participant.
I believe counsel said that there was an agreed-upon order. That being the case, Your Honor, I've not heard anything, and if it's in writing that that is what the agreement is, I'm willing to go with that.
Well, I appreciate that, and it is. I've been exchanging text messages with ASA David McNault, and as an officer of the court, he indicated he had no objection to the order.
So it was 15,000 on 1, 20,000 on 2, 150, surrender the passport, and what were the other conditions in addition to what we already
And
stated?
stay away from any of the survivors and or witnesses.
Okay.
I could forward if it makes it a little easier. I could forward the order that was approved to the ASA currently in court. If I can get an email, that way it's nice and clean and it reflects consistent with what ASA McNaught agreed on.
Thank you for the offer, but that won't be necessary.
Okay.
These passports already in property.
This.
Yeah, condition is releases the passport. He needs to surrender that, so he needs to get his passport before he can get out of jail.
So is the passport not in his
That's what
correction?
you think. I'm not I don't know that answer, but obviously if it's here already, that solves that issue. Okay. Did you have your passport on you?
property.
You know?
I had my Colombian passport, not my US passport.
All right, yeah, as soon as we get that, then once you post your bonds, you can get out, okay?
Wait, Your Honor, I believe he just said he has two passports?
His Colombian passport and his US passport.
I'd like him to surrender both.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
And is the Colombian passport the one that's in, as I'm understanding, is in possession of corrections? It's the U.S. passport that needs to be surrendered?
We need them both.
No, I understand, Your Honor. I'm just saying for purposes of, on the outside here, for me to make sure we're in compliance, that we surrender the U.S. passport. Is that the only passport that is remaining to be surrendered?
Do you have any passports in there? So we don't have any record of a passport. That doesn't mean it's not here. The clerk's office just doesn't have a record of having it.
Okay, I'll reach out to corrections to see if they could assist in confirming which passport, and then whatever's missing, we'll surrender immediately to the clerk of court.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Have a great holiday.
All right, you
Thank
too.
you, State.
All right, bye-bye. 15,000 and 20,000. And then 150. All right, anything else? 1 o'clock? Keep going? Me? Yeah, I know him. He's right next to that one I just put in there, Taylor. Yeah. You want me to pull him out? Yes. Right? All right, your name, sir?
Brendan Evans, sir.
All right. Give me one quick second. 21 CF 6856 AO, 2 failure to appear is on a battery with a prior, a trespass on property. According to failed to appear for pretrial conference on May 17th of this year. Your bond is set at 5,000 on count 1 and 100 on count 2. I'll appoint the public defender if they haven't already been appointed, all right?
I have something to say, Your Honor. I was in custody.
Talk to your lawyer real quick. If she thinks it's a good idea, you can talk to me. Your name?
Jalen Houston.
All right, sir, 22 CF 14498 AO, you're here on one count of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm premeditated. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state with regards to release?
Yes, Your Honor, this is a first-degree felony. It's actually a life felony. State would ask defendant be held no bond.
All right, any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor, we reserve the right to have our opinion.
All right, I'll stay the bond at no bond with conditions. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. No contact with the alleged victims, okay?
No return, Your Honor?
No return to the scene. I think there was a few scenes, if I'm not mistaken. Your name, sir?
I did.
All right, so you're here in 22 CF 14366 AO, one count of sexual battery with a deadly weapon, physical force, one count of attempted felony murder with a weapon, one count of armed kidnapping, one count of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, one count of robbery armed with a deadly weapon. Via arrest warrant. According to this, your bond is set at no bond on counts 1, 2, 3, and 5. and $50,000 on count 4, with conditions no victim contact or contact with state witnesses and no weapons. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State any input with regards to release on the 4 counts with no bond.
Those are all either punishable by life or life felonies, Your Honor. I ask defendant be held no bond.
All right, any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll stay the bonds as they are in the affidavit, stay the conditions. Your name, sir?
Thomas Childs.
All right, sir, 21 CT 5054 AO, failure to appear on one count of driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge. According to this, you failed to appear for arraignment. Your bond on that is set at $250. I'll appoint the public defender. Do we have an offer?
Yes, the offer from the state is an adjudication, credit time served, and court costs. Mr. Childs would like to accept an plea of no contest.
All right. Correct. All right, sir, is this your signature? Guilty or no contest?
No
All right, I'll accept your no contest plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days. Your costs, I'll give you a year to pay. 30 days to appeal. Good luck. I have paper clipped it. Yep. Your name, sir?
Amy Copeland.
All right, 22 CF 14523 AO, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. I will. I'll stay your bond, no contact, no return, and do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Yes.
I can't hear what you're saying. What you saying?
Both. Yep. No, thank you.
Did you say you stayed my bond for the one that they revoked?
Yeah, 3,500.
The new bond.
What is this?
On the add-on charge. All your other bonds, you're not here for those. You're only here for the add-on.
I mean, I could go up. You have 6 felony convictions, 5 misdemeanor convictions, 29 unknown, 3 DOCs, 2 failure to appear, 1 just a couple months ago. All right, see you later. Your name, sir?
Levon Thomas.
What happened to Lindsey Burton?
That's Mr. Thomas that we actually pulled to.
Oh. Yes, got it. All right, sir, out on bond on a home invasion robbery, burglary of a dwelling with assault and battery, domestic, 22 CF 8595 AO here today, and 22 CF 14495 AO, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, carrying a concealed firearm, possession of cocaine, possession of MDMA, ecstasy, resisting officer without violence. Review that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and
Who is this?
count 1, I'll reduce to $150. Count 2, $150. I'm sorry, count 1, I'm gonna stay at 4,000. Count 2, reduce to 150. Count 3, 150. Count 4, 150. Count 5, 150. Count 6, 150, and count 7, 100. And I'll revoke your release in the case you're out on bond. Let the judge assign to that case determine what a reasonable bond is for you.
So you're revoking count 1 and 2. Count 3, there was no action on the out on bond. You're just revoking count 1 and 2 since there was no action taken on count 3 or the out on bond?
Perfect.
Okay.
That's next, I think. Your name, sir?
Maurice Bruton.
This is it. ROR on a petty theft and a battery, 22 7626 AO here today, 22 8416 AO petty theft. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the PD, stay the bond. Do we have a offer on this one?
No, Your Honor.
All right. What's the reason for the ROR on the petty theft battery?
It hasn't been filed on. I would ask that you take no action.
I'll take no action.
Alvin Delvin refused, Your Honor.
All right, 22 8419 battery, temporarily appoint waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor, but I would ask for a one-time return. Looks like they live together.
All right. 500, no contact, no return, separate residence, no guns, knives, or weapons, one time with law enforcement. No return, separate residence, no guns, knives, or weapons. All right, sir, your name?
Tavares Epps.
All right, sir, 22 8410 AO, loitering and prowling, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, set his bond at 100. Does he want to resolve it?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. It's got a hold out of Seminole County, so even if he posts that, Seminole County might come get him. Your name, sir? 22 8420, battery resisting, trespass, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, and I'll set count 1 at $750, count 2 at $100, count 3 at $100.
Are you appointing?
Appoint the PD, no contact with the alleged victim and no return to the scene. Your name, sir?
Jermaine Lee.
All right, 22 8411 AO, loitering and prowling, possession of cannabis, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, I'll state count 1 and reduce count 2 to 100. Do we have an offer in this one or no?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's it.
Alonzo Terry is
Yep.
gonna help, Your Honor.
22 8414 AO, trespass, temporarily appoint waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right. I'll stay the bond of 500, no return to the scene.
And he also has the HRSO detainer,
He has what?
the high-risk sexual offender detainer.
We can't hear you.
High-risk sexual offender.
Oh, okay. So does he have reporting requirements then?
If you set them, yes.
All right. Yeah, I'll give him 48 hours. Where's his address?
Hello.
Bennett was in. All right, your name, sir?
Stephen Church, sir.
All right, 22 8390 AO, petty theft, retail of $100 or more. According to this, your bond set at $100. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. It's an add-on. Does he want to resolve this or no?
There's no offer.
Right.
I'm staying at
Yep.
Travis Brand bonded,
All right.
Jalen Jackson bonded.
Your name?
George Potts.
All right, 22 CF 14534 AO. You're here on one kind of reckless driving, one kind of attempting to flee or elude a law enforcement officer. According to your financial affidavit, sir, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. The public defender is for individuals who are indigent. The purpose of this hearing at this point is to determine whether or not there's probable cause or a valid reason for your arrest. And if I do, to determine conditions of your release so you can get out of jail, right? Right now, you're sitting on no bond. Do you want to go forward today so you can get out of jail, or do you want me to roll this to tomorrow? You can hire an attorney, they can come back and have this hearing tomorrow.
I'd say yes, continue.
Yes, what?
I would say, like, yes, I would want to continue.
You want to go forward today without a lawyer?
That's probably a bad idea, right?
No, well, I can't tell you if it's good or bad, but, because I'm not allowed to give you legal advice, and I don't even know if you want my legal advice. But, that young lady's probably smarter than me, so I'd listen to her. Like a windshield wiper.
Okay, yeah, I can continue then.
You want to go forward today? Oh, okay. All right, any input from the state with regards to release on count 2?
No, Your Honor.
All right, having found probable cause. So, sir, I'm inclined to set count 1, or reduce count 1 to $100 and set count 2 at $3,500. Is that acceptable to you, or is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think I should consider in determining conditions of your release?
Qualifies for pretrial.
Qualifies for, yeah.
I can also release you through pretrial release if you want to be released and just be monitored, similar to probation, without having to post a bond.
That would be great.
Which one?
Pretrial?
Pretrial with,
Okay, all right. See you later. He wants pizza.
Your Honor, can you repeat the case number, please?
22 CF 14534.
Thank you.
Any conditions for his pretrial?
No, don't commit any crimes. Yeah, state it. He doesn't qualify. Yeah. All right, ma'am, your name?
Chris Alberti.
21 CF 7151 AO, failure to appear on a petty theft with 2 priors. According to this, you failed to appear for a probation status hearing on August 2nd of this year. Your bond is set at no bond. Do you have a lawyer on this case?
I think I have a public defender.
You did? Yeah, you still want one? All right, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your name, sir? What is it?
Antonio Bailey.
All right, sir, 22 CF 5283 AO, you're here on an escape charge via arrest warrant. According to this warrant, your bond set at no bond. I know the guy that signed this warrant. I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. State any input with regards to release,
No, Your Honor.
defense.
Entitled to a bond?
He's entitled to a bond on,
Yeah.
on this, isn't he?
That's what I thought.
Yes, Your Honor.
I just asked for a reasonable bond.
All right. When did I sign that? A while ago. All right, I'll set your bond at $20,000. Your name, sir?
Elaine Barrett.
All right. 22 CF 14416 AO, and then counsel for the record.
Yes, Your Honor. Kenneth Thomas for Mr. Barrett.
All right, so he's here on one kind of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm premeditated, and one kind of attempted second-degree murder via arrest warrant. According to this warrant, the bond set at no bond on each. Any input from the state?
Yes, Your Honor, those are both life felonies or, no, I apologize. Count 1 is a life felony. He is not entitled to bond, and I ask defendant be held no bond on count 1.
All right, any input from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, I've given the defendant a copy of the affidavit of warrant. I've looked at it. I think it's more, the charges should be more in line with Florida Statute 790.19, shooting into an occupied vehicle. I don't think there's enough evidence that he was attempting to murder anyone in this case, if you believe everything the state is within the affidavit arresting him. He just was allegedly shooting into occupied building. He has no, I don't believe he has any prior record at all, other than traffic tickets. And he has, his mother hired me. She lives here locally. He's lived here all his life. It's also in Ocoee, near where I live. He's not been shown to be a threat to anyone other than, in this particular case, he's accused of shooting into a car. But, the idea of attempted first-degree murder, I don't really see it. I think the court should set a bond for him, allow him the chance to defend himself on these charges.
All right, Judge Michaela Nix Walker reviewed the affidavit in support of the arrest warrant, signed it. I reviewed it as well. I'm not inclined to make any changes that she made, but I do understand the argument. I'm inclined to stay the bonds at this point in time, but obviously he's entitled to an Arthur hearing, and then I'm going to include the condition, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, and no contact with the alleged victims, okay? So your bond's going to stay at no bond. You have a good lawyer. He's going to get you a hearing in front of the judge assigned to the case to try and get you out of here, okay? All right, thank you. Your name, sir? Your name, sir?
Connor Brown.
All right, sir, 22 CF 8986 AO, grand theft of a motor vehicle via restaurant. According to this, your bond is set at $2,000. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
Represent myself or a public defender is fine.
Those are two different things. You want to represent yourself or do you want a public defender?
Represent myself.
All right, I'll reduce your bond from 2,000 to 1,500, okay? All right, thank you. All right, ma'am, your name?
Audrey DeMarc.
21 CF 6257 AO, 2 failure to appear is on a possession of Udalene and possession of paraphernalia. According to this, you failed to appear for a determination of counsel on April 29th of this year. Your bond is set at no bond as to each. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
I have a lawyer.
I'm sorry?
I have a lawyer.
Who's your lawyer?
Jonathan Mills.
All right. All right, do you have any questions? Thank you. Your name, sir?
Rob Dutton.
All right, 2021 CF 15774 AO, you're here on a possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of cocaine with a weapon and resisting officer without violence via arrest warrant, or by, I'm sorry, it's a failure to appear. Bond is set at no bond. Was this a failure to appear? You have a lawyer?
Not right now, but I'm in the process of hiring one.
All right. When you say you're in the process, how long are you thinking? Because right now you're set at no bond on these. Why are you at no bond? Did you miss court or something on these, or is this new?
No.
It's all new?
Yeah, I was in here when they came to serve me.
I'm not sure. I'm just trying to figure out why there's not no bond for those charges. You should have a bond, unless it's a failure to appear or a VOP.
I'm not on probation. I don't have no VOP or nothing like that. I was already arrested.
State, do you know why the bond's set at no bond? Well, I'm just trying to figure out why you don't have a bond, and maybe we can get you a bond. I don't know.
Please and thank you.
Huh?
Say please and thank you.
Oh, well, don't say thank you, yeah, but.
Well, Your Honor, this case has been pending, let's see when the information was filed. Information was filed in July of this year.
Who's the judge that signed it? That might tell us who.
There was a motion to revoke bond that was filed on the 9th. Because he was arrested on a new charge, Your Honor, they asked that his bond be revoked.
All right, yeah, so, okay. Yeah, so you're set on no bond. The judge, it looks like the case is from, about 2 months ago, and then
He already has the.
they revoked your bond 2 days ago, and that's why you got served with no bond, okay? Does he have the PD on this case already? All right, so the PD's on this case, they'll get to work on that. I'm trying to get you a bond, okay? All right.
So, Your Honor, do you have another case?
Sorry?
Do you have another case for Mr.
It
Dutton?
says an add-on, so we must have seen him on the other case the other day.
Okay.
I don't know, I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember he was.
You remember him?
22 CF 14213.
It was already seen.
Okay, thank you.
All right, your name, sir?
Alan Florvillas.
All right, 22 CF 14525 AO, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. Polk County, Wansea, in case number 1904010 on a violation of probation with a no bond. Polk County also Wansea on case number 1811684 on a violation of probation with no bond. And on this new cannabis charge, according to your financial affidavit, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. So you either have to represent yourself or hire a private attorney, okay?
Yes.
On this new one here. And I'll stay your bond at 1,000, okay? So you got a $1,000 bond on this, but the two Polk County cases, no bond. So if you bond out of this, Polk County's gonna wanna come get you. You have any questions? Okay, all right, good luck.
Tyler Francisco, bond.
All right. Your name?
Amari Fuller.
All right, 22 CF 14514 AO, carrying a concealed firearm. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause. And then you also have 22 CF 13968 AO, robbery, armed with a firearm, aggravated battery with a weapon, grand theft, third degree, greater than 750, less than 5,000 via arrest warrant. According to this, your bond is set at no bond on count one, 3,500 on two, 1,000 on three, with conditions: no contact with the alleged victims, do not possess weapons or firearms. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
I had one, but this is my first time going through this. So
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do.
Who's your lawyer?
I don't know his name, but his name is Pastor Mike.
Your lawyer is Pastor Mike?
Yeah.
Anybody know Pastor Mike, the lawyer?
The only way I could possibly get in contact with him is like through my mom.
Okay. Well, so you're here on this new case with a no bond. You want me to roll this to tomorrow, give you 24 hours to call your mom so she can get in touch with attorney Pastor Mike?
If she gets in contact with him today, what happened?
Well, you're gonna come back for court tomorrow at 11, and then Pastor Mike can show up and represent you. Is that what you wanna do?
Is that the only choice I have?
Well, you can go.
I don't really know what to do.
Sure.
If I'm going through this.
Yeah, no problem. So you've got these two cases, right? You got carrying a concealed firearm, and I understand that as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent, so I don't want you to really talk about these cases. And then you have this other case, robbery armed with a firearm. That's the serious one. There's no bond on that case, and I can hold you at no bond, which means you're gonna sit in jail until we figure this case out. All right, so that's the big issue. So the hearing today would be to determine whether or not I'm gonna give you a bond. All right, it's your first bite at the apple. You can either represent yourself and argue to me why you should be entitled to a bond, or why I should give you a bond, you're not entitled to one. Or I can roll this to tomorrow, you'll come back tomorrow, hopefully with your lawyer, and your lawyer can make some legal arguments as to why I should give you a bond. Do you feel comfortable going today without a lawyer, or do you wanna see if you can get a lawyer tomorrow? Yeah, so you wanna come back tomorrow, see if you can find a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, so it's gonna be 11 o'clock, so call your mom and let her know where you're at. And if she can get you Pastor Mike, and it's gonna be tomorrow at 11 here, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Your Honor, is that going to be for both cases? I understand, okay, thank you.
your name, ma'am? All right. What happened to, never mind. Oh, I'm just waiting on her. All right, you said Cassandra Ganaway?
Yes.
All right, 22 CF 14519 AO, possession of fentanyl, possession of MDMA, ecstasy, possession of oxycodone, possession of contraband in a county detention facility, possession of drug paraphernalia. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. I'll stay count one and reduce counts 2, 3, and 4 to 150 each, and count 5 to 100.
You appointed us, Your Honor?
Point of the PD. The other way, ma'am. You're going the wrong way. It's all right. All right, so your name? Your name?
Axel Gierbolini.
All right, 2022 CF 12314 AO, aggravated stalking after an injunction. Sir, according to your financial affidavit, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. The public defender is for individuals that are indigent that cannot afford a lawyer. You're on a case with no bond, and so the purpose of this hearing is to determine whether or not I'm gonna give you a bond. Do you wanna go forward today without a lawyer, or do you want me to roll this 24 hours for you to hire a lawyer? You're entitled to a bond on this case, so you'll get a bond. Do you wanna do it today without a lawyer, or tomorrow, and you can try and find a lawyer in 24 hours?
I'm sorry, I'm a little lost.
So you're here on aggravated stalking after injunction. There's no bond, which means you cannot get out of jail. The judge, happens to be me today, will give you a bond. All right? So we can do this today without a lawyer, and I can give you a bond, or you could say, I want to come back tomorrow and go find a lawyer and have a lawyer make some arguments, and maybe you get a better bond. I don't know. You want to go forward today without a lawyer, or sit in jail for another day and come back tomorrow with a lawyer?
whatever gets me out so I can find a lawyer.
Okay, so you want to go forward today?
Yes, please.
All right, state any input with regards to release?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm inclined to set your bond at $3,500 with conditions: no contact with the named victim, possess no weapons, and abide by an injunction that is in place. Is that acceptable to you?
Understood.
All right, thank you. No PD. No avocado. Your name, sir?
Lavon Haynes.
What is it?
Lavon Haynes.
What happened to Joseph Gutierrez?
He's bonding.
He bonded. All right, Haynes, 22 CF 14528 AO, possession of MDMA ecstasy. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and I'll stay your bond. 1,000. Your name, sir? What is it?
So good afternoon.
Deshaun Love refused, Your Honor.
Okay. 22 CF 14361 AO, Deshaun Love. He had no love for us. Temporarily appoint, waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right. Via arrest warrant, I'll stay count 1 at 75,000. Count 2, I'll stay at 15,000, and then the counts 3, 4, and 5, I'll reduce to 150 each, and count 6 and 7, I'll reduce to 100 each.
What about 8?
Count 8, I don't know. What do you want me to do with count 8? 100. All right. One more time. What's your name?
Nathaniel Lynch.
All right, Nathaniel Lynch, 22 CF 1438 AO, 1 count of, or 2 counts of lewd and lascivious battery. Sir, were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
I hired a private attorney.
You know who you're going to hire?
His name is Legend.
All right, yeah, Judge Lejean. Have you talked to him?
Not much, sir.
Okay. So do you want me to roll this case to tomorrow at 11 o'clock so you could get in touch with Mr. Lejean and he can come represent you at this hearing? Because right now your bond's set at no bond, which means you're not going to get out of jail.
Would it be better to do it tomorrow?
So I can't give you advice and tell you what's going to be better or worse. I can just tell you what your options are. Because then if the judge starts giving you advice and then it doesn't work out the way you want it, then you're going to get even more upset with the judge. And so I don't want that to happen. So I can't tell you what's better or worse. I can tell you, you can either represent yourself or you can have an attorney who actually used to be a judge represent you. And then you can make a decision which one you think's a better option.
I'll have him represent me.
You want him? Yeah, so okay, so you want me to roll this to tomorrow? You can get in touch with him?
Yes, sir.
All right, so it's tomorrow at 11. Let him know, all right? All right. Roll him to tomorrow. Your name, sir?
Juan Nance.
What happened to Josue Micourt?
Bonding.
Bonded? Nance, that's you? All right, 22 CF 14532 AO, possession of methamphetamine, review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, and I'll stay the bond.
Your Honor, he can afford a monetary bond. He has no history. I would ask for an ROR as long as he maintained contact with his attorney, being that it's a nonviolent offense.
What's the state's position? Why doesn't he qualify for PTR? Because he was back there lying to PTR?
Conflicting information,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Where do you live?
Currently I'm working on, I travel with this, with the Dragons, and we're performers and artists. We're, getting ready for festivals, so I'm really supposed to be chasing my dream, so this is embarrassing for me.
So,
In this situation.
it's all right. Let me ask you this. Can I give that to you? Where do you get your mail?
At my grandmother's house,
Where does your grandmother live?
Oviedo, Florida, 326 Stillwater Drive.
Okay. So, I mean, do you live with your grandmother?
Currently, I've been working on the road. And
Yeah, and so you're hitting the road here soon, too?
No, I was supposed to, but I missed that opportunity there. Yeah, I have a phone. I work at,
Your Honor, if he has a phone, he can register with the clerk's office to get his court date sent to his phone. But he has no history, no failures to appear. I would ask for this opportunity for him to be released ROR.
I know, but I don't even know where he's going to be.
I'm a man of my word. Wherever you need me to be, whoever
He needs an address.
Like, are you going on the road to chase your dreams, or are you living in Oviedo with grandma?
Grandma.
Is she,
I'm,
okay,
I will, I mean, if I'm released, I can go to my grandma's house and straighten out this matter.
go to grandma's house.
Thank you, sir.
ROR. Don't spend your money on mollies and weed, okay?
You don't gotta worry about it.
All right. Your name, sir?
Michael Riley.
All right, you're in PTD on a possession of cocaine, 22 CF 801 AO. You're here today, 22 CF 14540 AO, possession of fentanyl. And Dwillis reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. I'll state count 1 and reduce count 2 to 100. And can I revoke his release in a PTD case? I feel like I can. I hardly ever do, but
Right, Your Honor.
I thought they usually leave it to PTD, no?
Yeah.
I don't know.
what?
Usually pretrial diversion will decide what to do with it.
Okay. I'll take no action. Good luck.
Sean Roberts bonded, Your Honor?
Bonded. What's your name, sir?
Martin Taylor, sir.
All right, Martin Taylor, possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, 22 CF 9910 AO. Out on bond on that here today, and 22 CF 14520 AO, possession of methamphetamine. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. I'll stay your bond on that. And on the case that you're out on bond, I'll revoke your release and I'll double them to 2,200
Yes, sir, thank you.
and 200 on count 2. Corey Catch,
Bonded, Your Honor.
bonded.
You said 200 on count 2?
Yep. 2,200. What's your name, ma'am?
Angela Valley.
All right, 22 CF 13597 AO, failure to report child abuse and neglect of a child via arrest warrant. According to this, your bond is set at 50,000 on count 1, 25,000 on count 2. Judge Gibson, ain't fooling around. No contact with the victim, no contact with any minor child, and comply with any DCF plan. I'll appoint the office of the public defender, and I will set count 1 at 25,000 and reduce count 2 to 150 and stay the conditions. 25,000, 150,
Wait, I'm sorry, Your Honor. So count 1 is 50,000 or no?
25,000,
Okay, and then count 2 is 150.
$150.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Johnny Volsi.
22 CF 14526 AO, fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
I'll set your bond at $5,000 and do not commit any crimes. Watkins, is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right. 22 CF 14522 AO, trafficking in oxycodone greater than 4 grams with a firearm. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
He's entitled to a bond on this, right?
Actually, no, Your Honor, because it's punishable by life. However, oddly enough, if you look at the schedule, there is actually an amount, I believe it's 100,000.
Yeah. All right, I'll set your bond at $100,000. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, and don't do any drugs, okay?
I'm prescribed.
Whatever you're prescribed, you can take as long as you take it as prescribed. Catch, bonded?
Yes.
Anything else?
No.
Nothing from defense.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Ash Lucas Taylor, 41195.
All right, sir. I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on two new cases. On the first case, the charges are possession of a controlled substance without prescription, possession or use of drug paraphernalia, and a controlled substance into bring a controlled substance into a county jail. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for those charges. Bond on the possession of a controlled substance will be set at $1,000 on the possession of paraphernalia, $250 on the third count regarding controlled substance will be set at $2,000. As a condition of bond, you are not to have any drugs or non-prescription medications. On the second case, actually, we have 4 cases, is that right? All right, so on the second case, 22 CF 3593, the charge is grand theft auto. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for that charge. Bond will be set at $2,500. As a condition of bond, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. On the third case, 22 MM 2780, the charge is petty theft. I reviewed the charging affidavit and determined there is probable cause for that charge. I'll set a bond at $250. As a condition, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. And on the final case, 21 CF 3035, it is a warrant arrest for violation of probation. Bond was set at 0. It's going to remain at 0 in that case. Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Best of luck to you, sir. All right, the next case that I'm going to call, we have private counsel present, is Jermaine Simon.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Jermaine Simon, 12/21/1984, sir.
Thank you, and can I have appearances, please?
Richard Hornsby for Mr. Simon.
All right, we're here on a reset. I know it was a little bit odd because it was out of county, and traditionally they're transferred, but I understand that he's entitled to a bond. Anything you want to address with that, Mr. Hornsby?
Judge, I'd ask the court to consider a $2,500 bond, which seems to be what the bond schedule would call for in this case.
Okay. All right, state anything you'd like to add?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so I will find that there is probable cause based off the charging affidavit. The charge is, failing to obey law enforcement officer to stop. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, determined that there is probable cause. I'm going to set bond at $500. It was actually, I'm doing a little bit better than that, but anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hornsby?
No, Judge, thank you very much.
All right, best of luck, Mr. Simon.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day. All right. How many interpreter cases do we have?
Yes, Your Honor. We have, do you want me to know how many, or do you want to know the name?
I have one. Do we have more than one?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the first one I'm going to call is Luis Montano Mendez.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Arroyo, State Certified Interpreter and previously sworn.
Good afternoon. We're here for initial appearances. The first case that I've called is 22 MM 2784, Luis Montano Mendez. Sir, can you state your name and date of birth?
Señor, por favor, indique su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Luis A. Montano Méndez, 1 de noviembre de 1982.
Luis A. Montano Méndez, November the 1st, 82.
All right, sir. I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You are here on a charge of battery, domestic in nature.
Muy bien, señor. Hoy día le estoy designando un defensor público y se encuentra usted aquí por una acusación de agresión física por violencia doméstica.
I've reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for the charge.
He estudiado el informe acusatorio y determino que existe suficiente indicios de criminalidad para sustentar la acusación.
I'm going to set a bond at $1,500.
Se fija la fianza en $1,500.
That's with PTR, with pretrial release.
Y eso sería combinado con el programa de libertad provisional.
As a condition of release, you are not to have any contact with the alleged victim.
Como condición de su libertad, usted estará prohibido tener ningún tipo de contacto con la presunta víctima.
You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime.
Tampoco está permitido regresar al lugar de los hechos.
You must maintain separate residences,
Prohibido la convivencia con la víctima
and you are not to own or possess any weapons or firearms.
y prohibido la tenencia de arma de fuego o arma alguna.
Anything further from the state?
Para la Fiscalía,
Yes, Your Honor, state would also be asking for no alcohol, being that the victim in this case advised the defendant was consuming alcohol prior to the altercation, playing a factor in this incident.
sí, su señoría, solicitamos la prohibición de alcohol. Esto es debido al hecho que la víctima nos informó que el inculpado estaba consumiendo alcohol previo del incidente. Esto es uno de los factores.
I will also order no alcohol as a condition of release.
Y como condición de la libertad, ordenaré que esta...
Anything,
Sorry.
anything further from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor, the defense would request one-time return with law enforcement.
I'm sorry, the interpreter hadn't finished her translation. We'll just...
I apologize for interrupting.
It's okay. Está prohibido el consumo de alcohol. ¿Algo más de parte de la Fiscalía? Sí, su señoría. Solicitamos que sea permitido regresar una vez escoltado por agente policial.
I will permit a one-time return under the supervision of law enforcement to recover any personal belongings.
Voy a permitir una vez que regrese escoltado por agente policial con propósitos de recoger sus pertenencias.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte a usted, señor.
Okay, what is the next case you have for interpreter?
Jorge Roque Rivera.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Buenas tardes, señor. Indique su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Jorge Roque, 10-3-77.
I'm sorry, the interpreter needs to verify. ¿Dijo 3 o 13?
3, octubre 3, 77. 10-3-77.
José Roque, 10-3-77.
Okay, Mr. Roque, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today.
Muy bien. Hoy día se le está designando un defensor público para representarle.
You are here on a bench warrant arrest for failure to appear for sentencing.
Se encuentra usted aquí por una orden de arresto que se emitió desde el juzgado por falta de comparecencia el día de la sentencia.
Bond was set at 0. It's going to be stayed at 0 at this time, sir.
No se concedió fianza alguna, por lo tanto, en este momento dado se impone prisión preventiva.
Okay, best of luck to you, sir.
Bien, buena suerte a usted.
Okay.
There's one more, Your Honor.
Okay. Who is that?
Juan Fialo Alvarez.
Okay. You can approach.
Acerque usted.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Buenas tardes, señor. Por favor, indique su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Juan Miguel Fiallo Álvarez, el 17/8/69.
Juan Miguel Fuez Álvarez, 8/17/69.
Okay, sir, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today.
Muy bien, señor. Hoy día se le está designando un defensor público para representarle.
You're here on a bench warrant arrest for failure to appear for arraignment.
Se encuentra usted aquí por una orden de arresto que se emitió del juzgado por una falta de comparecencia para la vista incoatoria.
Bond was set at $250. It'll be stayed at $250.
Se fijó fianza en $250 y quedará en esa cifra.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Suerte a usted, señor.
Yeah, you're free to sit back down.
Ya puede tomar asiento. Your Honor, may the interpreter have the case number for this last one?
Sure. Case 22 MM 1934.
Thank you.
Okay.
Interpreter will disconnect if she's no longer needed.
Any additional interpreter cases?
No, Your Honor, but can the interpreter just ask?
Sure. If you could
¿Hay
just,
alguien más en la sala que requiere los servicios de un intérprete? Si es así, por favor, levante la mano.
No one's asking, Your Honor.
that's all we have. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Likewise.
All right. Up next, we'll call Jonathan Bellamy. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Jonathan Bellamy, 3/13/1987, sir.
All right, Mr. Bellamy, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on an Orange County warrant arrest for failure to appear. Bond was set in the warrant at $1,000. It's going to remain at $1,000. Best of luck to you, sir. All right, Miguel Castillo. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Miguel Castillo, 09/08/1985.
All right, Mr.
Your Honor,
Castillo.
I'd like to waive the reading of the charges.
Okay. Okay. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today. Bond, this is out of county. Bond was set at 0. It's going to remain at 0 at this time. Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, anything further on this?
For the defense, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Connie Elizabeth Hamilton. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Connie Elizabeth Hamilton, 4773.
All right, Ms. Hamilton, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today. You are here on an out-of-county warrant arrest for violation of probation. Bond was set at $2,000. It's going to remain at $2,000. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Best of luck to you. All right, Roman Towns. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Roman Towns, 09/13/02.
All right, Mr. Towns, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on a warrant arrest for attempted second-degree murder. Probable cause was previously found in the warrant, and the court has also reviewed it and determines probable cause exists. The state has provided me a motion for pretrial detention, which I assume you intend to have set with the division judge.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm asking for it to be set within 5 days in Division 12A.
Okay. So at this time, defense, anything you'd like to say regarding that issue?
No, Your Honor, but we can't hear what the state's saying.
I'm sorry. Can you just speak into the mic?
Yes, Your Honor. Can defense hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you. The state has filed a motion for pretrial detention, and the state is asking that it be set in Division 12A, which I believe is the division within 5 business days, within 5 days.
Anything to add, defense?
Nothing from the defense.
All right, so at this time, you'll be held no bond, and that issue will be addressed within 5 days before Division 12A. Best of luck to you, Mr. Towns. Have a good day. All right, Ronald Sampson. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth, please?
Ronald Sampson, December 1st, 2004.
All right, Mr. Sampson, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You are here on 7 counts of criminal mischief, 6 counts of burglary to an unoccupied vehicle, and 1 count of petty theft. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for the charges. Bond's going to be set on the burglary. Hold on one moment. On the burglary, each burglary count at $2,000. So that's 2,000 times 7 for each of those counts, times 6 for each of those. On the criminal mischief counts, $500 for each. So 500 times 6. And then on the petty theft, $250. As a condition of release, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crimes. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Anything further from the state?
Your Honor, the state is asking for no contact with the co-defendant.
Okay. I'm inclined to order that. Defense, would you like to be heard on that?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. And also no contact with any of the, there is at least one co-defendant, any of the co-defendants. All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Sampson. Okay, Napoleon Louverture. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Napoleon Louverture, 10/17/04.
All right, Mr. Louverture, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You are here on 6 counts of burglary to a structure while armed, 7 counts of criminal mischief, and 1 count of petty theft. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for those charges. Bond's going to be set at $3,000 for the per charge on the burglary while armed. So that's 3,000 times 6, excuse me, I did it again, 3,000 times 6. $500 on the criminal mischief counts, so that's 500 times 7. And then $250 on the petty theft charge. As a condition of release, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, you are not to have any weapons or firearms, and you are not to have any contact with any of the co-defendants. Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Okay. Best of luck to you, Mr. Louverture.
Thank you.
All right. Arham Ashfaq.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Can you state your name and date of birth for me?
My name is Arham Ashfaq. I was born April 13, 2003.
All right, Mr. Ashfaq, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today. You are here on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, and another count of battery, touching, or striking. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for the charges. Bond will be set on the aggravated assault charge, $2,000. On the battery, $1,000. That's with PTR, with pretrial release.
And I could talk to a lawyer. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, yeah, if you'd like to, absolutely. If I've appointed the public defender. If you have some questions,
I don't know anything about that. I've never been in this situation.
do you need a moment, or?
No.
Okay. As a condition of release, you are not to have any contact with any of the alleged victims. You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You maintain separate residences from the alleged victims. You are not to have any weapons or firearms. And you are not to consume any, you're not to have any drugs or non-prescription medications or consume any alcohol. Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, we would request one-time return with law enforcement to get his items.
I will permit a one-time return under the supervision of law enforcement to recover any personal belongings. Okay, best of luck to you, Mr. Ashfaq. Jordan Hinkle.
Your Honor, I have a probable cause argument.
Okay,
Jordan Hinkle, August 10th, 1990.
good afternoon, Mr. Hinkle. I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on two new cases. On case 22 MM 2777, the charges are retail theft, trespass, and obstructing an officer without violence. And on case 22 MM 2778, the charges also retail theft. Defense, would you like to be heard on your probable cause?
Yes, Your Honor. My argument is about resisting officer without violence. The officer pulled into the parking lot. Mr. Hinkle ran. The officer did not identify himself or give any lawful commands at that time. The officer ran after Mr. Hinkle. The officer told the suspect to stop running. It's not clear whether Mr. Hinkle heard that or not from the officer, but Mr. Hinkle went inside McDonald's and sat down. He didn't hide in the restroom. He didn't flee the area. He just simply sat down. The officer walked toward Mr. Hinkle inside the restaurant, and Mr. Hinkle stood up. There's no indication that Mr. Hinkle resisted in any way. The defense contends that there is no probable cause for resisting officer without violence. And also, we would ask for ROR on that case if Your Honor finds there's no probable cause. In addition, Mr. Hinkle is homeless, and the defense requests straight pretrial release for the remaining charges.
And he does qualify for direct PTR, right, pretrial release?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. State, you want to be heard on the probable cause issue?
Yes, Your Honor.
And just make sure you're speaking to the mic so they can hear you.
sorry.
That's all right. If you want to remain seated, you may. I know it's not second nature.
At this, the only elements the state is required to prove is that there was probable cause to arrest, and that while the officer was trying to effectuate that arrest, the defendant did something. Fleeing is one of those actions that the defendant could have taken. In this case, within the four corners of the affidavit, it is clear that the defendant went into Walmart, took a backpack, filled it with several items, and made no attempt to pay, and then left the Walmart. It is reasonable to conclude that as soon as the defendant saw the officer, he took off fleeing because he knew, we can, through the circumstantial evidence, conclude that the defendant knew that the officer was trying to effectuate an arrest. The state's position is that through that fleeing, the defendant resisted arrest without violence. And for those reasons, the state would ask that the court find that there is probable cause as to that count.
Okay. I agree it's on the borderline. I'm going to find probable cause for all of the charges, but I'm going to order direct pretrial release with no bond. And as a condition of release, he's not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. Are both cases, well, any of the alleged crimes, it's all one location, correct, or no?
Your Honor, it's the state's position that there was a Walmart and a Harbor Freight.
Okay, so either of those scenes of alleged crimes, any other requests for conditions, state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything further from the defense?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Hinkle. All right, Stephen Lewis. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Stephen Lewis, and 11/12/1981.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today.
Your Honor, I have a probable cause argument.
Okay. You're here on two counts, one count of felony battery and one count of battery simple battery, touching, or striking. Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, there were two alleged victims in this case, two separate charges, two separate victims. The defense contends that there's no probable cause for battery because there's no touching.
You're referring to you're not talking about the felony battery.
Right, I'm not talking about the stepson, I'm not talking about felony battery, I'm talking about the alleged touching or striking to the spouse, to his wife. There was no touching.
Okay.
No touching occurred.
State, if you need a second, you can.
Yes, Your Honor, if I could just have 1 second. The state concurs, Your Honor.
So, so I'll find probable cause on the felony battery charge and set bond at $1,500 with PTR as a condition. I'm going to find no probable cause on the battery charge and ROR on that charge as a condition of bond. The defendant is not to have any contact with the alleged victim. Do they reside together?
Yes.
Okay, so then they'll have to maintain separate residences, no return to the scene. Does he need a one-time return? Yep. One-time return under the supervision of law enforcement and no weapons or firearms. Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing
Defense?
from the defense.
Okay. Best of luck, Mr. Lewis.
Your Honor, and I'm sorry, when the court is available, I just wanted to inform defense, if we could please recall Roman Towns' case at the conclusion of the docket or at any time convenient for the court.
Okay, sure. We'll.
Okay.
No weapons, yep. Do you need to call him now or you want to come back later?
Right now would be
All
fine,
right,
Your
so
Honor.
we'll recall Roman Towns. Correct. We'll recall,
Who did you just call? I apologize. Who did you just call?
we're recalling Roman Towns. The
No.
state's asked to, yep.
Okay, Roman Towns.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Towns is back. State?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is requesting that the motion for pretrial detention be set at this time. It is my understanding that Judge Carson's judicial assistant is out of town right now. So the state would be asking for the motion to be set on the dock or the calendar for 12A at this time.
I don't have that calendar. I assume the clerk does not. Do you have that calendar? We might be able to find some time for you. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. So did you catch that, defense?
No.
She was just requesting that the pretrial detention motion be set right now because of her understanding that Judge Carson's judicial assistant is out of town.
Okay,
And so,
I'm not in 12A, but, I mean, I can't speak for them, but I do work for the office, and I won't be representing him myself.
yeah, and I'm certainly not in 12A.
And I'm sorry, just for clarification, I am in 12A. I did also email the judicial assistant as well as her backup, which is J.A. Kishara Goodrum. And just for the defense's information, I have emailed Ms. Crystal Broadway. She is aware, she has advised that Assistant Public Defender Alex Johnson will be handling. I have copied him on all of this correspondence.
Excellent. So we have our clerk looking into what's available, and we'll come back to that in a bit. So, Mr. Towns, you can go ahead and sit back down, and if we need to hear from you again, we'll call you back up. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, Laura Mao. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Laura Mo, 517.
Mo, okay. All right, Ms. Mo, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on two new cases. On case 22MM2782, the charge is false, providing false name or ID by an arrestee. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for the charge. I'm going to set bond at $100. On case 22 CF 677, you're here on a bench warrant for failure to appear for pretrial. Bond was set at $4,499. It'll remain at $4,499. Best of luck to you, Mr. Mo.
Thank you.
Glenn Penson?
He refused to come, Your Honor.
Okay. Would you like a reset or?
Yes, race set for tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll be here.
You have weekend duty. All right. At least it's not next weekend.
That's right,
Yeah. All right. So we'll reset for Mr. Penson. And Jessica Jenkins.
Jessica Jenkins, 1684.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on an out-of-county warrant for violation of probation. Polk County, bond was set at 0. It's going to remain at 0 this time, and you'll be transferred to Polk County. Okay, best of luck, ma'am. All right, did I miss any, counsel?
Did you call Michael Cano? I missed something.
Michael who, sorry?
He bonded Michael Cano?
I'm told he bonded out.
Bonded out, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Anybody else?
That's all I have. Miss anybody? I think that's it, Your Honor.
All right, so if you just want to sit tight and see if we can address the issue regarding setting the motion for pretrial detention.
Yes.